All right, Jules, let's get into Tottenham a little bit because obviously this game was super important for them to get it done. We know the whole backstory. Antonio Conte likes his clubs to spend money. He's very open about it. They did spend a lot of money. Obviously, they need to see a return. Daniel Levy, I think, more than most, has shown that he looks at the bottom line. And obviously, there's a big difference between advancing in the Champions League, just financially, besides like credibility, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
So they got that part done. They are third in the Premier League, which people seem to forget.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, they play Liverpool this weekend, and things can change pretty quickly. It is pretty tight, that sort of battle third. You've got Newcastle in fourth, Chelsea in sixth. It can all change very quickly.
It can
This is
very
what
quickly.
I'm driving at. Antonio Conte was up in the stands, suspended.
He looked very frustrated. He didn't like it a second.
Well, I want to get to the point, because I said this on the FC show, right? He does not want his team to play like this. This is not his game plan. His game plan isn't, oh, look, I'm playing Marseille away with little sneaky Alexis Sanchez darting around. I don't want to defend as deep as I defend. I want to defend further up the pitch, because that Marseille front three, you don't exactly have Victor Osimhen or Kylian Mbappe in there, right? In terms of pace, or Rafael Leao. There you go. So let's defend further up. Let's defend from the front.
I disagree with you. I think that was the game plan, and they did what he asked them to do before.
I don't think
they
so.
left the hotel.
I don't think so.
Why would they play so deep straight away then?
I think that what happened was, inevitably you can give players instructions, but on the pitch, on the night, they're going to revert to what they feel comfortable. Ultimately,
but what they feel comfortable is what he's been teaching them for 12 months.
Well, he's not been teaching them for 12 months because he's been teaching Romero, and he hasn't been teaching Longley for 12 months.
No, but most of them.
I think the reason he's angry, and I believe he is angry this morning, is he didn't want them to do this, but they were incapable of executing what he wanted them to do. And I think it makes him angry and it makes him frustrating.
I think this is what they do. They play like that. He wants them. Of the big teams in England, they're the team that play the deepest, that doesn't press, that doesn't play high. This is not what they do. They don't defend high. They don't have a high line. They have the lowest defensive line in the big teams in England, and I think.
But in this game especially, in other games it can make sense.
I think
in
they went
this
to
game
Marseille,
especially,
they went to Marseille. A draw was enough for them. And I think they went to get a draw, and that was it. That's the way I saw it watching the game. And
do you think Conte thought the best way to get a draw is to sit so deep and invite pressure?
Yeah, you play. I think
with Longley and Ben Davies,
and then you
stuff
play on the
there.
counter when you have with Son and Ken. And once Son came out after 20 minutes or whatever, it was 25 minutes, it was even more, because then Bissouma came on.
Yeah, I know.
And, I know there's not many options because there's no Richarlison, there's no Kulusevski, Lucas Moura is just back from injury, and then you've got Brian Hill on the bench, and that's it. I just thought it was super minimalist, but it worked. So, and it's been working this season because they've had the results. It's just the performances. I think, again, we go back to the same debate that we have and conversation of like they should be playing much better with the players they have, and yet they don't.
So, look, this is what I've been told, that he doesn't want them to do it, and they end up doing it, or he doesn't get his message across, or he doesn't feel confident that they can do it the way he wants them to play, because this is not how he played at Inter. This is not how he played at Chelsea. Broadly, it's not how he played when he was the Italy manager in 2016. But either way, it just sends off this message of negativity, and I don't know how you break that other than by beating Liverpool convincingly at the weekend, assuming you can do that. But again, playing Liverpool without Son, I sense more of the same.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you do now. I don't know if you rely even more on Harry Kane, but then he's so important to you almost to start your offensive move than to finish them.
He can't be the one starting the offensive move. This is one of...
So he has to stay higher up, and then you maybe play more on your wing backs. But Ryan Sessegnon, who is purely left-footed, starting
So
at
he
right
inverted,
wing
he
back.
inverted them, right? We've
No,
seen
but Perisic, you
play
can
on both
understand.
sides,
Perisic is two-footed, so it's fine. But Ryan Sessegnon is not two-footed. Ryan Sessegnon cannot play as a right wing back. He doesn't have a right foot.
Right. So you're sacrificing the width to try to invite Sessegnon to come inside to be another runner, somebody who can play a 1-2. Right.
But obviously that didn't work.
Obviously that didn't work.
Could have
either.
told you before the game.
But I think what this, I mean,
just,
to me, what this shows is that he's recognizing the predictability of it if you're just going to sit on the counter. I mean, even you look at this midfield, Højbjerg obviously can finish, as we've seen, and he can pass a little bit when he doesn't have people on him, but he's not he's not a creative passer. Bentancur has a lot of drive. I certainly wouldn't class him in the creative passer category.
I agree.
Neither does Bissouma fit there.
No.
Harry Winks is gone, of course.
Yeah.
This is the figure I think that's very obviously missing from the midfield if you're going to try to play that possession game. So you have to do, what he used to call the automatisms, right? The players move, they get the ball, they immediately know what to do. You pass the ball into space because you know the guy's going to be there. All this stuff. And you have to drill that into. You have to figure out, if you're Conte, how to get that message across to your players in double quick time, because you don't have the time to work with them on the training pitch in season. In the adjustments. You had it preseason.
Yeah.
And I think he knows he needs to do better there.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.